Hello readers, so last week we focused on using hashtags to help find the main idea of each section. Today we're going to practice finding the central idea to a section of a passage instead of the whole story. Today we're going to be reading Queen Aliquipa, Seneca Leader. We will be looking at the details in each paragraph to help us identify the main idea of that section. This will help us later with our assignment. So looking at this passage, before I start reading, what do you notice about the passage that might be missing? What might be helpful in helping us understand each section? I'm going to give you a few seconds. Make sure that you're writing something down or even jot a comment down in the assignment. So if you take a closer look and you notice that we are missing headings. So each section does not have a heading for the passage. As I read, I want you to think about a heading that would fit for that section. The heading idea doesn't have to be perfect. It can be unique, but make sure that it relates to the topic in that section. Queen Aliquipa, Seneca Leader. Queen Aliquipa was born around 1680. As a young woman, she met the British man who founded Pennsylvania, William Penn. He treated the American Indians with respect and honesty. He truly wanted to be friends with them. Throughout her life, Queen Aliquipa was friendly to the British, perhaps because she had met with Penn. So looking at this paragraph in the beginning, it does match with who we are going to be talking about. So again, like our last few stories, this is our introduction to the story that we're going to be reading. It kind of gives us some background about Queen Aliquipa. The Seneca Leader, they haven't really talked much about, so maybe we'll find out more about that as we read. I'm going to read paragraph 2, and I want you to think about a heading that would go here. In the early 1700s, Queen Aliquipa was living in West Pennsylvania. She was a powerful leader of a village of Seneca American Indians. Although she was called a queen, Queen Aliquipa worked hard. She was chosen for her wisdom and how well she could lead. Important decisions were made during meetings called councils. Everyone in the village had a say. After listening to the people in the village, the leaders would make the decisions. Here, they're talking about her being a powerful leader. So our title says Seneca Leader, and that they referred to her as Queen Aliquipa. Although she wasn't really a queen, she did work hard for her position. So think about it for a second. What should we write here? I'm going to write a heading that I think would best fit. So I'm going to write maybe Seneca Queen. Remember, your heading doesn't have to be exact, but this is something that I think relates to the passage. In your Schoology assignment, you're going to have to match the exact heading that best matches what we came up with. Paragraph 3. In the 1750s, before any settlers arrived in western Pennsylvania, the French and the British were fighting to see who would control the land. The American Indians didn't want either the French or the British to control the land they lived on. They also really did not want to be involved in the war. It was a difficult time. In the end, some villages decided to side with the French. Other villages, like the Aliquipas, decided to side with the British. So what's happening here? Here I notice that this passage was mostly about a battle between the two. So the French are fighting with the British. The French wanted control of British land, and they didn't want to be involved in war. So what's a good heading that you think would go here? So I know it's talking about the Seneca. I'm going to put Seneca taking sides, right? Again, if you have something different or you think something different sets better fits here, that is okay. And our last paragraph. In 1753, George Washington visited Queen Aliquipa's village and gave her presents. The next year, the French took control of the area. Queen Aliquipa and her whole village decided to move to a British trading post in central Pennsylvania. In December of that year, Queen Aliquipa died. She was about 75 years old. During her life, Queen Aliquipa did what she thought was best for her people. Why do we remember her? She was an Indian leader who fostered friendship and cooperation between the Native Americans and the British. So this is kind of our closing paragraph, our closing section, talking about what she did and her impact. So what would be a good heading for that section? Since this is talking about the British visiting Queen Aliquipa before she passes away, I'm going to put a visit from Washington. So these are my headings that I thought would best fit. Go ahead and take a look at your Schoology assignment. It's each paragraph broken up and a heading that best matches the sections that we just talked about. If you have any questions, make sure to ask your teacher or comment in the video. Good luck.